Hi, today I'm going to show you a small demonstration on the integration between Sitecore and Eloqua. I'm going to use two different browsers. One browser where I'm logged into both Sitecore and Eloqua. So this is Sitecore. I'm going to switch the tab here to Eloqua. I'm going to have another window where we can see the actual website with different pages. So I have like a protected page here where I can download a JPEG file. I'm gonna have a login page, which we're gonna see that in action in a second. And we're gonna have a create user page here. So everything is mapped up. We're gonna use Sitecore's web form for marketers to create these forms, and we have created the capabilities of configuring these forms so we can push data to Eloqua. But let me go back to Sitecore and show you how this is configured. First off, um, we have underneath Tolerable and Global, we'll have a new folder here called Eloqua Settings. Underneath the Eloqua settings, we will have one or more configuration items. This one is only for one website. So I'm currently I'm using I'm running locally on my computer, and I only have one website called sample. But of course, in the real life scenario, you will have several of these configuration items. The configuration items themselves will hold different data. First off, you will have a login page that is a path to the actual login page that you saw in the other browser before. It will have a path to a create user page. We'll have different endpoints, and we'll have some data around the login information, such as the company name, the username, and the password. If we go ahead and have a look into web form for marketers, I'm going to go underneath system modules, web form for marketers, and underneath the website, I've created a couple of forms. I have the login form. If I click it, I can go to form designer, and it'll bring up this dialog box how this particular form has been configured. Right now, the login form really just consists of one field called email address, which is required, and the type is email here as well. If I click the submit button here, this is how we configure Sitecore to act on a submit action. So we have these save actions here, and you can see I've already added a Eloqua login save action. But I can click edit, and it will bring up this save action dialog box where I already have configured Eloqua login. We can start over here. So I can just remove it. I can add a save action. So the Eloqua login. Click add. I'll add it back in here. Now I can click edit. And now it will ask me what configuration item. So site sample, the one we have over here, grayed out. I can select, of course, in the real life scenario, we will have more than one. So I can select the site sample. You can click OK. And just to verify, I can click edit once more. You can see that the connection is successfully established. So that's all good. So now I added this Eloqua login save action to my form. So when I submit the form, the save action will be invoked. Let me just save this one here and close it. If we go underneath Eloqua registration, this is where we actually are creating a user. And go to the form designer here again, and you can see it has more fields than the login page. If I wanna have additional fields added to the form, it's really just a matter of clicking here and specifying the name, and you're gonna see that in a second as well. If I click the submit button, you'll see I have a Eloqua create user save action. I'll click edit, and I can click edit to the Eloqua create user save action here. Again, it will prompt me to uh, select a settings item, Eloqua settings item. course, I've added the site sample one. And what this one does is it will pick up all the different fields that I have in my form. Let me just close down here once more. See, all these different fields will be available for me to map to a Eloqua property in Eloqua. So let me try this one more. Edit, select the save action and click edit. And see, I have all the different fields from Eloqua. And I actually have quite a lot. I have like around 150, I guess. So now I can map my email address with the Eloqua field called email address, first name with first name, last name, company, country, and so forth. And we have some business sector, job role, and we also have a checkbox down here, so we can map it all. Okay. So let me just cancel that one and cancel this one, and save and close. One of the requirements in Eloqua is to be able to protect different assets, which means that if we have a PDF file or image file, then we want to prompt the user with the login box. If the user already exists in Eloqua, we're going to log that user in Sitecore, and we're going to show that that asset to the user. If the user doesn't exist, we're going to redirect the user to a create user page for the user to populate the form. Once submitted, of course, we will create that user in Eloqua, redirect back to the requested asset. The way we set up protection in Eloqua, so I have a small demonstration here. I have underneath media library, I have prototype. I guess I have top banners down here. And I have a image here called Industries Eloqua. So this is the image, and I want to put protection on this particular asset. The way it works is that I can now go to configure. No, sorry. I can go to security, and I can assign some roles or users to protect this one with. As you can see, I've already done this on the this image, Industries Eloqua. So on the exonet anonymous, so an anonymous user requesting this asset, it has denied read access. On the other hand, if I select the Eloqua user, the Eloqua user will now have read access. So the way it works is that once the user is logged in, it will be assigned to this Eloqua user role, and therefore it will be granted to that asset. Just going to close down here, and I'm going to bring up sorry, I'm going to bring up the other browser, and underneath downloads and tools, I will have a image here which is not protected, which means that if I click it, I will see that image straight away. If I go back, I have a protected image, and if I click here, it will first off, it will ask, is this user already logged in? If it is, I will be granted access to that image right away. But since I'm not logged in currently, I will be prompted with the login box. So I'm just gonna create or try to log in here, and I'm gonna submit. For now, this user should not be known in Eloqua, so I'll be redirected to the actual create user page. We will pre-populate the email address. Now I can start populating the first name, last name, company, country, business sector, job role, and my interests. So now let me try and submit it. Once submitted, I will be redirected back to the original page, and I will be shown that requested image, and there you go. Let me go in and switch, or let me try and switch the browser here and go into Eloqua. So I'm just gonna search for my newly created contact. There you go. You can see all the different fields is now populated with the correct data. If I click that contact card, we will see the different fields down here. We will find underneath the activity log, we will have external activity. You can see that since I've logged in and I have requested this asset, we will add that as a activity into the contact cards activity log. So just say that I've downloaded, it could also be like seen or whatever, and the actual URL to that particular asset that I have requested. Right. So from now on, if I switch the browser once more and I go back to my downloads and tools page, there we go. Since I've created that user, I've logged in, and if I request another image, you'll see that image right away. And of course, we want to register that activity action. So I could go in here and I could have external activity, and we should see two external activities. One of the other requirements is that, let me go back once more. Downloads and tools. Imagine that my session has expired. I'm just gonna do it like this. I'm just gonna delete all my cookies and refresh the page. So now, right now, I'm really just an unknown user. Now I can click download and I'll present it with that Eloqua login box once more. Let me type in the email address that I used before. When I click submit, you'll see that now I'm straight off logged in and I will see that asset once more. And of course, just to verify, we can find that activity in Eloqua again. So now I should have 3 from there. One of the other requirements is to be able to map a Eloqua form into a Sitecore form. And I guess the workflow would be creating a form in Eloqua to begin with all the different fields, and then go into Sitecore and map those fields with a Sitecore form. So let's go ahead and try and do that. So let me go into Sitecore. I've already created a contact us form down here. I can bring up the form design. I can see that it's all empty. So now I can add a field. But actually, I don't want to add a field. I want to add a section. So I'm just gonna remove this one here. Section is really just where I have a header, contact us, and all right, we'll add a job title, which is of type single line text. I will add a first name, name, last name, email address, phone number, country, company. There we go. The country, I'm gonna switch to being not a single line text, but a drop down list. And since I switched it, we can now go into, you can see this one changing. So if I have a single line text, we'll have like other options. Drop down list will have items. In this case, I can click over here. I can add some values. So maybe I'm from the US, United States. Create another one called UK, United Kingdom. There you go. And now I can click OK. And I'm just going to save it in here. Now I want to map those fields that I've just created with the form in Eloqua. So I can click the submit button. You can see you have different save actions in here. That's all good. But I can click edit, can find all these ones in here. I can remove them if I want to, but it's okay to have more than one. Now I can select the Eloqua form submit, click add, and click edit. So first off, we need to select a settings item. So site sample. Now I need to close it and edit it once more because Sitecore will now pick up those information and try to get a connection to Eloqua. Now it's going to give me a list of all the different forms that is on this particular account that we are using. This might take a second to do. Yeah, I'm just gonna pause it here. Now we will get the option to map it to a form. So you can see all these different forms down here for me to select from. Of course, it's important that you select a form that corresponds with the fields that you just created in Sitecore. So I'm just going to select TMS contact us form, click OK. Once more, I need to close it and edit. And there we go. Since we have the connection item, the settings item, and we have selected the form, now we can start populating those fields. So we have the job title, have the first name, oops, last name, email address, where we're going, phone number, country, and company. Do we have a company? There we go. All the fields marked with the star at the end means that they are required in Eloqua. So if I fail to map one of those, I will get a warning. So please map all the Eloqua fields ending with star. If I selected the wrong form up here, we'll see that if I select another one, you'll need to close down and open it once more. I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to find the TMS one here once more. Contact us. And let me find that company. There we go. And click OK. Okay. And let me save that one. Now it's saved, and this is really just a form. This isn't the page, this is a form. So now I need to create a page and add that form to the page. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go to Tollable, my sample site. I'm going to go to Home, About Us. And maybe in here, I'm just going to insert a new content page, call it Contact Us. And this is where it's probably going to be easier for you to go into the page editor. I'm going to launch another UI here in Sitecore. You can see the page itself is pretty much empty. In here, I can add a new component. All this should be familiar for you guys. I'm going to add a section to it. And in here, I can add a existing form down here on the bottom. Select. For me to select the form that I just created before, so I want to add the contact us form. There we go. So now we have that page ready. Let me go ahead and save it. And let me try and see if I can browse to it. So I'm just going to switch the browser. And it's probably called Home, About Us, Contact Us. There we go. So that's the form. So now I can start populating it. I can have like my title is developer. My name is Morten Borg. My email is mb@borg.dk. Phone number, whatever. country. This is dropped down, so now I can select the United States, and the company is called Core. However, let me try and change my name. So I'm just going to pin new to the first and my last name. Oops. There we go. So let me try and submit that form. So a couple of things will happen now. We will probably save the data to the database. We will register a gold in Sitecore, but we should also get that information pushed into Eloqua. So all the different fields that we have mapped. So let me switch the browser here once more into Eloqua and find the same one. I'm just going to search here since it's the same. You see exactly the same email address. Now I have a title. I have the new first name, last name, and if I click it, I should be able to go in and find that form submit. However, sometimes this might take like 4 or 5 minutes. So I'm just going to pause this video and I'm going to return once we get data in here we can verify. Yeah, and now we are back. And you can see the form submission has been tracked, or at least I can see it in here. It took about 18 minutes for it to show up in here, which is, yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, but that's really it, and that concludes this small demonstration. Thank you for watching.